I am 30 years old, married to my wife, 32, for almost 2 years. About 2 months ago, my wife told me that she got a friend request from her ex from 9 years ago. He was her first love, first ex, first everything. But due to him serial cheating, she broke up with him, but not without so much heartache on her part. We met after a year or two later, started a relationship in 2015, and married in June 2019. We have a son, born last June 2020. Anyway, the last time that they had communicated was in 2013, until she apparently had received a friend request last February or March from him. She knows that I have feelings of jealousy about him, and it had been a sort of unwritten rule that she would never contact him again, and she would tell me if he did contact her. It's an offshoot of our agreement of no secret, nothing hidden in our marriage, especially in regards to things that might threaten our marriage. She told me about the friend request about 2 to 3 weeks after, when per our agreement it should have been disclosed immediately. She said she declined the friend request. I was a bit worried, but let it pass, since it was just something minor. Everything else has been unsuspicious until 1 week ago when I logged into her Messenger account. We both have each other's password on everything and regularly check the other's social media accounts. I rarely do this, but out of a hunch, I went to her archived messages and there was a missed call from her ex at 1 a.m. the previous night while I was at work. It wasn't answered, but why would she hide it from me? I tried to remain calm and waited for her to eventually tell me, but she didn't. On the third day, I couldn't hold it any longer, so I confronted her about it. We had a very bad fight, mostly because of me, and she said she saw the missed call, but has no idea how it was transferred to the archived messages. We fought the entire day. I was very angry about why she did not tell me about it, but instead hide it from me. She denied any wrongdoing. I made her ask him why he called, but he replied that he wrong pressed. I called BS. How can you wrongly press call on a messenger account that you haven't been in contact with since 2012? About 2 days ago, he again called her, and when she didn't answer, he proceeded to ask her why she isn't answering. Since our last fight, I have been kind and calm, but I don't know why he has the balls to suddenly keep calling my wife out of the blue, and more than once at that. Am I being overly obsessive and harsh about it, or should I investigate further? The ex lives about 15 minutes from our home. This is actually the first place where both of them grew up. We just recently transferred here. Her and my son arrived in September 2020, while I arrived in March this year. No, I am not going to contact the ex yet. This might make him go underground, more discreet in contacting her. I didn't need any detail. I just need to know if she's cheating or not. If she cheats, I am going to immediately go for divorce. We are still supposed to be in the honeymoon stage. If she cheats now, then how much worse would it get when we go through the midlife stage? No, 2013 was the last contact. Added some correction and some more details. 2012, when they broke up, she unfriended the ex in Facebook. 2013, she had another boyfriend. He and her boyfriend started medical school. I was their friend slash classmate. They broke up due to the man being an a-hole, and also, in my own observation, since I became close to them during that time, he was just a rebound boyfriend for her. About 6 months into our relationship, approximately 2015, she told me that during her previous relationship with her classmate in 2013, her ex, the first love, was staying in town and got the flu. She supposedly didn't want to talk to him anymore, but he was sick, and he repeatedly asked her for some help and some medicine since he was alone and couldn't get up. She asked her male cousin to bring some meds over to the first love. She didn't tell her then boyfriend about this, and as far as I know, I am the only one that knows about it besides her, the first love, and cousin. 2015, we got closer over the years and started a relationship. I asked her to be with me, but during that time, she was clearly heads over heel and more in love with me than I her. The second time that he tried calling her, I sort of cut the call. We were sitting together in the back seat of the car. Father-in-law was driving, so I guess she did not have a choice but to tell me since I saw it already. She didn't answer the call. That was when he texted her and asked why she was not responding. I am still observing my wife. We are both been sick the last 3 days from over fatigue, so neither had time to get out. It's been a long time since I last posted. Stop monitoring her obsessively as I was simply too tired. No further contact by her ex has been made. Nothing about her words or behavior hints of betrayal/infidelity. I am sorry for wasting all your time. Maybe I was just an insecure POS. Update. I just remembered today that when I arrived in here, her hometown, in late February, I missed her and pretty much was initiating X every day, sometimes more, and she would deny me more often than not. I was lucky if we had X once a week, but I never relented, asking for it every day. One particular day, she had made a comment that I was a X addict. This happened about 5 minutes after we had X. I was taken aback because that was the first time we had X in 3 to 4 weeks. That's when I decreased my intimacy request to about once a week, which she would sometimes still turn down. I totally forgot about this until today. Anyway, all I have right now are suspicions, and I'm too tired to be obsessive and thorough about catching anything. I go to work for 5 to 7 days at a time, then go home and care for our son while she goes to work. We don't go home for 5 to 7 days because it would unnecessarily expose our son to possible infection. We alternate on work. She works while I stay home and vice versa. I live in Asia and this setup is allowed where I live. I guess this will be my last update. I feel bad for taking your time, knowing there's more people who need your advice in this forum. Thank you. Update. 1 month later. I posted here about a month ago. Just found out of a 4-year-long emotional and physical affair. I don't know what to do about it. More than the years I have been married. Then he dumped her and she pursued him for another year. Then, when he knew that she was now living a long distance from me, he tried to start the affair again, and that's when she finally said no. I asked her a million questions, but having a hard time believing her answers. She says she loves me, even during the affair. She said she never planned on leaving me, but why did she stay for 4 years with him? And why did she run after him for another year? 5 years of her giving more effort for the affair than for our relationship. They even had a relationship song together. Denied me X, but doubled down effort for other man. Basically, she admitted the affair after she felt that I was losing my love for her, no longer there emotionally. She can't bear losing what we have. She ended it in January when I told her I was preparing to travel home to her. She showed me all their communication, so I know for a fact that starting this year, she turned him down emphatically despite his effort to rekindle their relationship. I can't function much right now, but she's also not in a good place. I cry all the time, but she does too. I think even more than me. She quit her job 3 days ago. Is so regretful that she can't even help with our baby. Most of our communication is when she says sorry or I love you every 15 minutes or so when she manages to come near me because I can't even look at her or touch her anymore. She asks to be intimate with me and try to have sex with me, even while covered with snot. Will the pain stop? Will I be able to forgive her? What happened is so crushing. Other man came at the time when she was struggling with depression. The depression lasted for about a year. The depression was over. Why did the affair even last that long? She says she didn't want to leave me ever, but admits to having long feelings for other men even now. Based on the emails, it was 2 years of emotional affair, and they would kiss when she went to her childhood home about once a month. For 2 years, he tried very hard to get in her pants, giving her all the compliments known to mankind. He would whine and complain about not having X because he just couldn't help it. My wife is so special. He said that kisses on the lips would never be enough because she was the most beautiful thing he ever laid eyes on, inside and out. She gave in after 2 years, and they were physical about once a month since then. He dumped her because she apparently believed all his words, when his motivation for it all was just X. My wife tried to get him back for about a year. Then due to pandemic, my wife no longer could come to her childhood home once a month, but she still tried to email him to get back to the affair. Then we had our baby in June 2020. When she came back to her old hometown with my son in September, he tried to have X with her again. That's when she started telling him that she regretted everything and repeatedly tried no contact. January was the last time they communicated. although he still tries by other means to talk to her, but she shuts him down immediately. She had also told me about those times too. She thought about deleting everything, but changed her mind because, according to her, she wanted to have proof to show me that it's over if I found out about the affair. Since the no contact, the other man has been trying to reach her, even in the hospital where she worked, but she has shut him down. Before she quit her job, she had written requests so that the security guard would not let him within her work premises, with exception of the ER, of course. I have seen the evidence of this, and I asked the security guard about the request. I can't sleep or eat. I feel like SHIT. She has sunk into such a low right now. I sometimes can't even get my wife to take a shower to remove all the snot and dried up tears from her face. She had made everything transactional. If you would just talk to me for 5 minutes, I promise I would shower after. Effing ridiculous. Oh, you want me to function normally? Then promise me first that you will never leave me. I will do anything, but can't even wash the dishes without vomiting on the plates. Thank you everyone for your advice. Most of you want me to divorce immediately, but I have a list of reasons not to do it yet. Number 1, yes, I would divorce immediately if not for our son. She had been a better parent to him than I have been. Number 2, the hurts that I feel is unimaginable, but seeing her reaction when she saw me hurting, is it possible that she's feeling more pain than I am? The massiveness of the number of tears and snots, etc., seems ridiculously impossible. I wouldn't have believed it if I have not seen it. It seemed like I haven't seen her face, not wet with tears, since D-Day a month ago. Number 3, she's a doctor, so if she wanted to leave me, she could have, without financial problems. She could just have left with other men, and even if the other man left his job, her money would be more than enough for them. Number 4, she's willing to take the fall. She tried to out herself and the other man for everyone. When I say everyone, I mean everyone. I had to stop her from telling our family, even the other man's family. Heck, she even tried to tell the hospital where she worked when she quit her job. I had to be with her everywhere she went so that she would not spill the beans. In this small town, that would have been a death sentence to her and affair partner. The affair partner especially would have lost most of his career prospect. Number 5, I have all the email, I think. I read everything after she told me her affair story, and it all coincided with the email. Number 6, she already moved on from affair partner, as the email suggests. But during our medical school, with all the extreme stress we were going through, and me becoming distant because of the course load, she became depressed. It was the right timing when affair partner tried chatting to her, telling her how he has changed and apologizing to her. She turned him down, but he continued to chat. Eventually, the affair partner began telling her how she has changed into the best person possible, and the rest is history. During this time, I was struggling academically and didn't pay much attention to her. I don't know how it would turn out, but I think I should let my mind clear up for at least a month before making a decision. This way, my son wouldn't be affected much. I know I may seem to all of you as weak, but I am trying my best to keep the house together. I have a 1-year-old son who needs me. I try to do everything through this unimaginable pain. I am trying to do the right thing by my baby son. Wayward spouse has been begging me to quit my job so we could work our marriage out. We have enough savings to last for about a year with neither of us working. We live in a house bought by her parents for us. We have little debt. To clarify, she was coming home to her town because she had had her job there. Then after the 2 weeks of straight hospital duties, she would come back to spend time with me. During the affair, she would have sex with AP in the 2 weeks she was in her hometown. I know that she is a horrible person, and I know that I am in an extremely vulnerable state. Rest assured, I will do what's best for me and my baby. I just need some of your advice along the way. To summarize the story timeline, 2015, we started the relationship after her sort of pursuing me more than I am pursuing her. 2018, she gives in to ex with affair partner. 2019, we got married and got pregnant shortly after. We decided to save ourselves and didn't have ex until after the wedding. 2020, he dumped her. So in 2019, when you got married and got pregnant shortly after and decided to save yourself and didn't have ex until after the wedding, she was getting ex from the affair partner. Well, let's continue. In 2021, January, she sort of dumped him back. And then in 2021, June, she confesses the affair. A short update. We agreed to do the STD test next week. Nothing much has changed except her body weight. We are both unable to eat or sleep much. I just told her about 30 minutes ago that I am going to a lawyer to find out my options and suggested that she do it too. She became hysterical. She said she wouldn't go to a lawyer and begged me to go to counseling instead. I told her to go find a shrink for herself. I also told her that I would no longer sleep in the same room with her because she can't understand that I can't even bear to touch her, much more have sex with her. It makes me nauseous. I often get woken up each night by her hugging me and trying to initiate sex, trying to sort of get me off guard and lustful. And my repeated pleas to never do it again are unheard. She asked again and again if I didn't love her anymore. I got fed up and just left her on the floor. She's in a crying mess right now in our bedroom. To everyone who posted here, I'm really thankful for taking your time for me. I am reading and rereading your post here, and I will talk to Wayward Wife again. Once she calms down, I will ask for a timeline, then a polygraph, and I will talk to her about DNA testing for our son. The following text may be too much information. We got married in June 2019. We would have sex every day, 2 to 3 days, when she was with me. I remember she would always want to do it every day, but I was tired. She would be disappointed if I was not able to have another erection for round 2. It was probably in September to October 2019 when she got to leave from work and we were having sex almost every day because she wanted to get pregnant so bad. She even wanted to have sex multiple times a day. We would have a pregnancy test about every 3 days, and she would be disappointed every time it was negative when it came back positive. All this to say that I'm pretty certain that he's my son. Plus his features are so similar to mine. I don't want to expose the affair because I don't want us to be the talk of the town. I don't want to see nurses whispering and stealing glances at work. One day maybe I will expose the affair when the time is right. When we were in medical school together, she would steal glances of me in class, at the laboratory, at the hospital. It was so often that it became obvious to me and our colleagues she would be sad if I wasn't giving her enough attention. One time I was reading in one of our classrooms while she was hanging out with our classmates. Just outside the door, I noticed our classmate laughing, and when I looked up, I saw them teasing her because she was staring at me, on the verge of crying because she had told me to hang out with her, but I didn't. She always wanted to hold hands with me, always wanted to be with me. If I mentioned that I was going to buy groceries, she would ask to come with me and sook if I refused. She was always insecure because she was a bad girl, quote unquote, and would ask me why I was attracted to her, knowing her wild history of partying in the past, always asking me what I was thinking when I am silent. We were inseparable. Even at the end of our relationship, we gave each other our social media passwords. I helped her sister when she became pregnant as an 18-year-old. I cared for her, and she seemingly cared for me too. When we would fight, she would always be the one to give in and be the better person. When I was angry at her, she would be so scared that I would leave her, and then I would assure her that I wouldn't. What's so special about other man that he gets to ruin me? I think my posts have placed her in a negative light, not making excuses for her, but I felt all this time that she was not obsessive, only loving and maybe unusually clingy. The reason I posted some of her past obsessive behavior was because it was of a woman who was heads over heel in love, totally opposite to the behavior of someone who has an affair. For example, the story about her almost crying only happened once, even though her glances were daily. She felt that she was a bad girl because I am what most people would consider a good guy. I have no vices, rarely partied. I never consider her a bad girl. I actually was the one who decided to wait for X until after marriage. So she was more comparing herself to me. Also, she was salutarian in our med school class, so she was very gifted academically, so no one considered her a bad girl in our class. In terms of patience, kindness, and thoughtfulness, she blows me out of the water. She went to her hometown once a month because we were planning to stay here in hometown permanently, and we were already offered a job here. We are just waiting for my training to end in the other place, and she accepted the job in advance Presently, we are here in her hometown, and life is good financially. She said she felt guilty during the affair, but described a mix of happiness, addiction, like she can't say no to AP when AP would pursue her, and the fact that she was terrified that I would find out kept the affair going. She was too weak to say no. She says she tried to go back to the other man for 1 year after he dumped her because she can't believe that all this time the effort was for nothing, that she betrayed me for nothing. She said her head was so illogical that time that instead of being relieved the affair was over, she tried to reconcile with other men to justify her action in her mind. When affair partner wanted to start the affair again, she had by then gained the strength to say no. This is according to her. Also regarding withholding X from me after the affair was over, she said it was because she felt used during the affair, so she shut down sexually. She was disgusted with X for those months after she initiated no contact. My son is the most adorable creature on this planet. I will try my best for him, whether reconciliation or divorce. She said that she has always loved me and I was the love of her life, but she's also a horrible, confused, and weak person at the same time. She wishes she had this strength all along to say no to other men. She told me that she wanted to have a child with me so badly because she thought it could give her the ability to finally free her from her self-imposed prison of infidelity. All of these things she told me in the course of 2 hours today before I went to work, sort of a bird's eye view of her mental state during the affair. According to her, I told her towards the end to pull herself together and be more responsible in the house with our baby. She apologized and said that she is in awe of me being responsible enough while in such hurt. She has a book on how to heal your spouse after an affair, and she said she will start to read it. Also, I told her to stop crying so much. Hypocritical in my part because I can't stop crying myself, and she said she would try to be more emotionally stable. I told her that there is about an 85% probability that I would not decide to reconcile. She took it quite well, surprisingly, but she told me that she wanted to expose and humiliate a fair partner, by extension, herself, to prove that she wanted only me. I said very firmly to never do that when I left. She promised to clean the house when the baby sleeps. For the update, sorry for being absent for the past few days. About the time of my last post, she was nowhere to be found and could not be contacted for most of the day. I was talking trash to her, telling her that my heart was about to burst with the pain, while a fair partner was probably smirking in his office, thinking he had one-upped me. We both were sobbing, and I fell asleep. When I woke up, she was gone. I thought she finally went to a fair partner and broke no contact. I went ballistic. Well, she actually went behind my back and went to a fair partner's boss to expose him and their affair, armed with printed evidence. She apparently threatened to get her own attorney and publicly expose the firm if they did not give him the utmost punishment. We have also been dealing with the fallout because her professional reputation has taken a hit because of it. The affair partner has been fired and most likely will lose his license for his law practice in our country. Unfortunately, during the time that she was away, out of anger, I went to my lawyer friend and got the divorce papers. By the time wayward wife went home, the divorce papers were already in our house, waiting for her. So now, we are in this very confusing situation where she did a positive thing for my self-esteem, but it backfired because now, although I never really planned to yet, we are divorcing. I feel bad for her, but I decided to go through with it anyway. As my lawyer told me, the earliest for it to be finalized would be by January next year. As you could probably imagine, this has incredibly affected her. She said that she was proud of herself when she was driving home that day, eager to show me how much I mean to her. She had no clue what was waiting for her. We'll post updates later. As all of you know, I am happy about the fallout for a fair partner, but I got most of my confidence boost after filing for divorce, like being set free from prison. I feel I regained control of my life and my decision. The grip of the affair on my mental well-being and the thought process has loosened. I am now in control of my circumstance, in control of my destiny. It has been freaking liberating, and I can live a life of a divorced man and father. Sorry for not updating for so long. Life has been chaotic lately. About 1 to 2 weeks ago, my wife attempted deleting herself. We are still at the hospital. I am with her 24/7 to prevent her ideation. our son with his grandparents, wayward wife's parents. I thought she was going to die, but her vital signs has been stable. She's going to make it. She's not mentally stable though. Hopefully I have the time to post longer updates later tonight, and that's the end of the post. Well, here's my reaction about her trying to self-delete herself. She's a doctor, so if she wants to delete herself, she would do it. She would be very successful. So I call BS to that. Especially if you're a doctor. If you want to self-delete yourself, you would do it, and you can do it, and you know how to do it. So this is one of her attempts to ensnare you back, to manipulate you. But let me just go through the story and basically unpackage some of the points on this story. I don't do analysis that often, but for this one, I just feel like doing it. First of all, when you guys got married, you know she was quote unquote the bad girl. She was the party girl, and you are a good guy with no vices. And you made a decision not to be intimate until after the wedding. First of all, you are marrying a party girl. A party girl is going to get down and dirty. So she is having X regardless of whether it's you or someone else. So you took yourself out of the picture because of you are trying to be virtuous. But she went on to who she was, which is a party girl. She found another person. So that's after she got dumped, she felt insecure. And when she felt insecure and the guy was coming for more, she was able to reject him. So she actually didn't dump him. She just rejected him, and she felt this little confidence from rejecting him. And then she went to you and say, hey, oh, I rejected someone. Look at me, clap for me. It's part of the emotional torture and emotional draining that she's trying to put on you. And she was trying to love bomb you and crying and being in this depressed state of misery, which she's used to. That's her natural state, a state of misery, a state of affair, of emotional stress, emotional trauma. And she used this to cling on you. You took it as she was being remorseful, but she's not being remorseful. She just enjoyed the state of being miserable. And that's why she's trying to love bomb you and do all these things. So you also made the comment that the affair partner was pursuing her, and the fact that she was terrified that you would find out kept the affair going. So people like this, they enjoy the thrill of the affair. So remember, she never told you about the affair, why the affair was going on. Because the fact that you don't know about the affair makes the affair more thrilling. Is the humiliation, the fact that she's humiliating you behind your back is the thrilling part. So that's what I have to say about that one. And then she said she had gained the strength to say no after she was dumped. So I don't buy that at all. And then after she got dumped by him, she told you that she was disgusted by X for those months after she initiated no contact. I think she was disgusted by you, not the ex at all. And then she said she's always loved you and you were the love of her life. Meanwhile, during the course of your relationship, she was also cheating on you behind your back. So I don't quite understand how she loved you. And if you think about it, at the end of the story, she went and exposed the affair partner. She was so interested in exposing the affair partner and blowing up his life, your life, and her life, which shows that she's a self-destructive person. And why is she so interested in blowing up this AP's life? That's because she's still hurt. He humiliated her and rejected her, and then she went back to you, which is the plan B, her second option. And she always held that grudge against him, which is really the reason why she did it. She didn't do it for you. She did it because she's spiteful. I don't understand the laws in your country, but she didn't get forced. I don't know why his license should be taken, because it wasn't an assault. It was consensual. So I don't know, there might be more story than that, but I don't understand why. Maybe infidelity is against the law in those countries. So, but if he's punished, you should be punished as well. But she's already quit her job. She's self-destructive and she has a lot of mental issues and very unstable. Quite frankly, I think the original poster is a simp and should have left a long time ago. Even if you have a baby with her, I understand that you want to care for your baby, but she is very unstable and enjoy the emotional roller coaster, and she's still in control, because when she saw that you have actually took the initiative to divorce her, she reeled you in by faking a self-deletion attempt. Because she's a doctor, I promise you, if a doctor wants to take their own life, they know damn well how to do it. Thank you for staying to the end of this story. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.